ever let them convince you that your life is over at 40 or even 30 or 35, and definitely not like 50, because at this rate, my life is just getting better and better every year. And I know that my body is aging, but my mind is not. It's getting wiser and stuff. But let me just tell you, I'm 47, okay? And I'm about to leave in an hour. I'm not wearing a watch. I do that. I don't know why. I look at my phone for time, but in an hour to go to the south of France for a weekend with my drum club. And there's gonna be 300 of us playing drums all weekend. And what's most likely gonna happen is we'll be up all night too. I haven't had a drink in 21 years, but I'm the drunkest person you'll ever meet. I'm up all night a lot of times because I don't pass out from being just saturated with alcohol. I'm just like my hyper self, right? And that's what I'm doing this weekend. And there's probably going to be all kinds of like substances and whatever. And there's going to be people younger than me, and I will outlast them. Do I like to be comfortable and sleep and like, do I have a little bit less energy sometimes? Do it take me longer to recover? Yes. But I promise you, do not believe them when they tell you your life is over if you are not married and have kids by like 30 or 35, and definitely not 40, because so many women make the worst mistakes they've ever made in their life because they see 40 come and they're like, oh my God, what if I regret not having kids? I better go find a freaking loser to have a kid with. And now your life is ruined a lot of times. Like literally everything that you had going, all the peace that you had, now it's gone because this loser is connected with you for the rest of your life. And you have to raise a child that you actually didn't want, but you weren't sure, but you didn't want to regret it. Let me tell you something. As a child-free woman at 47 years old, I lived the best life. And part of that, a lot of that, is because I don't have to take care of people I didn't want. And I didn't die from giving birth to them. And I didn't have to center my whole life around keeping them alive. I've never wanted that. But even if you did want that, your life doesn't have to end. Because let me tell you, the women that I know who are single moms, show up at events, concerts, even my shows. Whenever I've done a show here in Lyon, the people who show up the most, who are the most reliable, are single moms. Guess what? Because they have joint custody, or they hire babysitters. But what they don't have is a man at home guilting them, manipulating them, sabotaging them, so that they have no life whatsoever. The reason why I'm thinking about this is one of my mutuals made a video on this. I'm going to tag her. And she was talking about this because I am so, like, do you know how disturbing it is? Not that we didn't grow up with this too. Do you know how disturbing it is to see a 22-year-old drinking out of a straw that is shaped like this? Like, that was made by a man. I did a video on this last year. Made by a man who thought maybe his daughters and his wife wouldn't want wrinkles. So a man made this thing, and 20-something-year-olds are promoting straws because they're afraid to go like this. Because they don't want wrinkles. They're afraid to smile because they don't want wrinkles. They're getting Botox before they're even in their, mid to late 20s because they don't want wrinkles. Look, I know I got a lot of wrinkles. This is from laughing a lot. This is from being a raft guide in 7,000 feet high elevation of Taos, New Mexico in the sun all day. Keeping people alive and having the time of my life. Working outside. All of my wrinkles are from... Some of it's stress and a lot of it's trauma for men, but most of it is from fun. I don't want to look like a little girl when I'm an adult. And I definitely don't want to live my life as if it is a burden to age rather than a privilege to age. Like, please stop being afraid of aging. I know that there's privileges that comes with looking younger, blah, 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 blah. The happiest women I know are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Because a lot of it, because they're menopause or perimenopause, and they just don't give any forks around anymore. Shout out to the We Do Not Care Club and the creator of that. I'm going to try to remember to tag her. Even if you want kids, your life is not over. But make sure if you want kids, make sure that you are willing to be a single mom. Because there's no guarantee. And make sure you're building your community. But even like, it's this idea that you got to be afraid of aging and that your fun is over. Let me tell you something. I have such a more fulfilling life at my age now than I did before. I don't drink. I don't do any wrongs. But I do a lot of fun stuff. And I'm not burdened with a bunch of extra labor from men and also having to keep little people alive that I don't want. Or even if I did want, that I don't know how to take care of. And again, I swear to God, The women that I hang out with the most are single women or women who are partnered but are child-free, and most of all, single moms. I can't tell, at least half my friends are single moms. One of them is a single mom by choice, literally chose to have a donor. And she travels everywhere. This woman has a fuller life than most 20-something-year-olds I know, and she has a baby. Now, she also has built her community for such a long time and is such an amazing person that she's got, like, this kid has, like, aunties and uncles, like, and she has family, and she has a huge community. But you know what she doesn't have? A man burdening her with endless work and guilt and gaslighting and just a giant king baby in her house. Yes, it is hard to age sometimes. You're more tired. Maybe you're more sensitive. I mean, perimenopause is not fun. But y'all, please don't be afraid of aging, because you're not going to have the... I like to have the childlike curiosity. I never want to lose that. But I also have real lived experiences that make me wiser and more discerning. And yes, my body is aging, but I'm telling you, I'm in a drum club that I go to every Monday night. I'm in a gospel choir every Friday night. And I sing with people who are younger than me and older than me and everything in between. I play drums with people younger than me, older than me, and everything in between. And then now I'm in an Irish dancing class. I don't care about Irish dancing, but it's fun. And I meet cool people. And last night I went for my first time and I didn't know anybody and I felt silly, but whatever. I'm confident. I'm not afraid to try new things. I wish I was this confident in my 20s. I was cocky in my 20s and I was brave in my 20s. I did a lot of stuff. I honor that person. Good job, Melanie. And maybe I can't handle alcohol anymore, although, I haven't drank since I was like 21. I'm not an alcoholic. I just quit drinking because I'm a narcoleptic and I fall asleep, and I'm way more fun sober. And if everyone thinks I'm drunk because I'm just being my silly, weird, bonkers self, all the better, right? In fact, I love hanging out with people who are drunk because then they don't judge me as much because they let themselves be loose and, just carefree, right? So my body doesn't have to recover from doing terrible things to it, because I have the confidence of not needing that stuff. And I just want fun. I'm curious. I like joy. I like community. And I have so much fun. I can't believe life can be this great at 47. I thought I was done. I was like, oh God. And even me, someone who never wanted children, ever, somehow thought that 40 was this giant, it was like a mini funeral. My life, it's not that my life started, but the next chapter of my life started at 40, because I was like, okay, I gotta stop being attached to this and that, whatever. What do I want? And I focused on that. The way that they are selling anti-aging products to 10-year-olds is so disturbing. The way, I'm telling you, the same way they want everyone to be a skinny, right? Make sure you're skinny so you don't have any energy to care politically about anything, and make sure your rights don't get just totally forked more every day. Just focus on your body and be at war with your body. If you want to read a really great book about that, The Body is Not an Apology. Life-changing book. But the same thing with aging. I find a new form of ageism in me when I look in the mirror, or when I see older women and I'm like, horrified by them. And then I started realizing a long time, when I see older women, I have a visceral reaction, and it's not towards them, it's towards myself aging. That is how deep this stuff, that's patriarchal conditioning. Fork that. Let me tell you something. Women in their, I know women who are in their 40s and 50s who can get laid so easily by beautiful men. Healthy men who are attracted to confidence. I have slept with more beautiful men in my 40s than all the decades combined, added up. But of course, living in LA will really make you hate yourself more. I've never hated myself as much as when I lived there. About being around, it's like, oh my God. And then you leave and you're like, oh my God, I'm not. Anyway, please stop being afraid of aging. Please stop thinking I cannot tell you. If you want more stories, last weekend, I was at this crazy parade out in a village, way the hell out there, partying hard with people between the ages of literally 0 and 95. And I know in the US, we don't really make space for older people. But let me tell you, around the world, older people party. Older people are out there living their life. And let me know if you want a video on that, because I could show you what older people are doing. And it isn't watching TV or mourning dead husbands.